Hello dudes, Axel here. So, as of August 13th, I'm like 17 days late to actually do a video on this subject, but as of August 13th, DaVinci Resolve 15 officially released, came out of beta, and there have been some notable improvements. So much so that I personally can finally say I would recommend it as one of the best options for a video editor on Linux. Now, obviously, it is not free and open source, but for those of you who aren't like shackling yourselves to I will only use free and open source software, not that I'm saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying if you don't follow that philosophy very strictly and you're okay with some proprietary stuff, if it does make your life easier, then I can happily at this point recommend DaVinci Resolve. At least I would like to say that, but so far I've only tested it with one system and one configuration. Now, with that by configuration I mean operating system, Linux distro, but with that test it did work like perfectly. So what I'm going to do is over the course of the next few days or so, I'm going to be testing different distributions. They'll all have the same hardware configuration, but different distributions to test what all will work mostly out of the box with Resolve. So to start with, the first system I tested it on was on Pop! OS 1804 with AMD graphics. Once I installed the AMD GPU stuff with OpenCL from their website, it worked perfectly. I didn't have to link any libraries like we had to previously. And of course, with Resolve 15, we now have native audio support on Linux. So it kind of just worked. I was not expecting it to just work like that. Didn't have to link up any libraries, didn't have to fiddle with anything to get it to first launch. It kind of just worked. And that's with the install script that they provide. So yeah, Resolve 15 is in a pretty good state. Pretty damn good state right now. I still would like to see them put it in a Flatpak or something to make it even easier for people to get access to. But as it is right now, DaVinci Resolve 15 is pretty damn good. Now, keep in mind, I am saying all that, but I've also only tested it on Pop! OS so far. Granted, it did work perfectly on Pop! OS, but that is also the only distribution I've tested it on. What I want to do is test other popular Linux distributions. I can tell you right now, it probably won't work on Solus because with Solus, like if you're using an NVIDIA card, for example, there's no CUDA on Solus because of legal reasons. And as for OpenCL, we don't have AMD OpenCL stuff available on Solus yet. I know they're working on it, but it's not available yet. Hopefully once it is, Solus will also be a good option for using Resolve, but at the moment, it's unfortunately not. So, gotta scratch Solus off the list for now, which makes me very sad. But sometimes we have to make sacrifices. As I've said sometimes before. Anyway, that's another topic. So other than Solus, I am also going to test on Ubuntu proper. I'll probably also test Elementary OS. I'd like to test Fedora. Other than that, if you guys have other distributions you want me to test, make sure to let me know. If it's reasonably popular, I will. If it's a niche distro, I definitely won't, because it's like I'd like to help the widest audience I can, rather than just like, oh, you're using Hannah Montana Linux? Okay, yeah, no. I'm not gonna help you with that one. I'm sorry. Anyway, for those who might think I'm joking, no, that actually is a thing. That actually is a thing. Well, I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was at one point. If it is not still, actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it still is. Anyway, gonna be testing those. I would also like to test Linux Mint 19, but the last time I tried to install it, it wouldn't install grub for some reason. So I'll try to test Linux Mint, but I might not be able to. We'll see. So other than that, though, I do want to test Resolve 15 on a number of distributions, make sure it works on a bunch of the popular ones as well as it did on Pop! OS, and we'll see how things go from there. But anyway, like I said, if you have any suggestions, make sure to let me know. If you have any questions and thoughts on DaVinci Resolve, also feel free to let me know. I do want to go a little bit more in depth with getting things up and running and working around not being able to import H.264 encoded videos, because you're still not able to import those in the free version. I think you can in the pro version. I think I've heard you can in the pro version, but that's $300. Most people are not going to want to make that investment if they're just doing like some somewhat casual video editing, which, I mean, then you could argue they should just use Kdenlive, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway, other than that, anyway, to reiterate, future plans, going to do more Resolve videos to hopefully help people use it on Linux, because at this point, if you're okay with non-free and open source software, I do think Resolve is the best option. Of course, you guys are always welcome to agree or disagree in the comments below, or over at me on social media. You can find me on Mastodon at linuxrocks.online/@Axel, and over at Twitter on twitter.com/Axel94. Till next time, this has been Axel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.